How are we all doing? Have we been watching the highlights? Because I know I've been watching the highlights all last night, all this morning. I'll watch them all today. I'm still absolutely buzzing, as you'd probably all guess. So if you are new, subscribe to the channel, drop this video a like. Let's have a like target of 450. And head over to our website then. I'm joined by Justin, so I'll show you how to do it first. So you want to head over to utvpodcast.co.uk. You want to go under Social Hub in Player Raters. And then this is where you'll find the rating system for you to rate the Aston Villa players of Spurs 0, Aston Villa 2. The average rating is on the right-hand side, so you can see what the average has been calculated and gives you that number on the right. So, Justin, I'll let you start off then with Olsen.
I'm going to say 8. I think he didn't put a foot wrong. Clean sheet, which is number one for a goalkeeper, isn't it? I think we said yesterday, he didn't have loads to do as in shot stops, but I think he's very good with his feet. Actually, I thought he was very good with his feet. Something that he's been sort of targeted with a few times by Villa fans, saying, "Oh, he worries me with his kicking." I thought his kicking was very good. Passing was good from the back. His handling was good. He come and got a couple of, from corners, and then a couple of times the ball came across into the box, and he got down well and smothered it well. As we saw the other end, Lloris, made the mistake for the first goal, and his handling was poor, and that's a goalkeeper that's just played in the World Cup final. So, it is an incredibly difficult position to play, and I thought Olsen did very well.
Me too. He's come through this little period for me in a good light, which I'm happy about. We was all worried, weren't we? We were worried, rightly so, because of what we were seeing, but
I think it's an unnatural. Don't you think it's unnaturally worrying because for the first time probably ever, we've got a World Cup winning, exceptional top draw, one of the top probably 3 or 4 goalkeepers in the world playing for us. So obviously, whenever he's not playing, you're going to think, "Oh God, we haven't got Emi Martinez." But I think he's done enough to secure the understudy spot, I think, and be not too worried if he has got to play the odd game.
Me too. Ashley Young, again, I mean, what more can be said about him? Because I'd have him for another year, I think, because he's and what I like about him, and this is why I feel like he's probably started games over Cash at the minute, is he's able to play a game plan and he's able to be given instructions and stick to those instructions. Now, he had 5 weeks with Emery, whereas Cash was at the World Cup. So Young's been listening to all of the information that he's needed. And I think, brilliant. He cleared one off the line. So I'm going to go Ashley Young for clearing that one off the line. I'm going to give him an 8. And what I will say, this is unlike our player ratings episodes in the past. Normally they're 4s, 5s, 3s, 2s and 1s. You won't see those numbers in this one. So
just before you move on to Concert, I'll say about Ashley Young. At 37, as long as he keeps his fitness, I would just keep rolling him on. Like you say, I would literally keep rolling him on year to year because it is invaluable to have a player like that in your squad. Not only around the ground and around the training ground, it's good to have someone like that for the younger players. But, he's adding proper competitiveness on the pitch. His experience is just brilliant. He gets in the faces. He's second only probably to Emi Martinez for the way he reacts to things on the pitch, doesn't he? And the way he gets on the opposition's nerves when he's giving them a bit of shithousing in the games. But I think he's been phenomenal for his age. And I think he's probably not far off getting another year on his contract.
Yeah. Concert, Mings for me, didn't put a foot wrong. I'd give them solid 7s. Again, another key substitution from Unaiemery was taking off Concert. At one point, he was on that yellow. He looked a little bit flustered, arguing with the ref. I think it was the right thing to take him off. So I feel like they both had very, very solid games. Exactly what you'd want them to do, that they did. So, yeah, do you want to go with Luca Dean?
Yeah, I thought he played well. I thought the back four played really well. That the two fullbacks had to sort of slot slightly narrower, didn't they? Because the way they were playing with the sort of six sort of at the back. But yeah, I thought he got forward well as well, Luca Dean. He still hasn't quite hit the heights I hoped for this season, but again, another one that's hopefully only going to improve week on week, and I think 7 is fair with him as well.
Yeah. Next on the list, Boubacar Kamara and Dougie Luiz. They look like the best two that could complement each other. I think that is a big compliment in itself. We're now starting to see them win midfield battles, which is something that I've never seen Villa do before. We're dominating midfield, which is really good. And everybody knows that watches football. If you can dominate and win midfield, you will pretty much dominate the game. And that's what we're doing. So I thought they were brilliant. I thought they were brilliant against Liverpool. And I think they're just going to get better and better. Kamara, for me, he's just getting better every time I watch him. We've always known that Luiz is a player, but at times he's just looked a bit lost in midfield at times. But now the two together just work perfectly, and they've both got 9s from Villa fans here, and I think I'd agree. I'd give them both a 9. Do you think one deserves a 10?
Well, I'm trying to think. I mean, a 10 for me is the perfect game, isn't it? They've literally done nothing wrong, and I'm trying to think. Did they do anything that would not tell me to give them a 10? I don't know. I think they are 9. This is Ryan. If you're listening, sort this 9.5s out with you. I think 9 is the minimum both of them deserve.
Yeah.
And they were verging on 10 performances.
Yeah.
As I say, it might even be harsh giving them 9s because I can't remember either of them putting a foot wrong. And in fact, I think Luiz scored as well, so I think that probably, I don't know, maybe edges him to a 10. What do you think?
Yeah.
Could we give him a 10 for I mean,
No, you know what, Justin? I'm going to say no, because
we're waiting for that magical.
Better.
Yeah,
we're going to get better.
Yeah,
right?
Fair enough. I'll take that. Yeah,
I think
room for improvement.
For me, we're not finished with these top 4 sides yet this season.
Well,
so
all I'll say is, Christ knows how good they'll be when they hit a 10. If that's a 9, Jesus Christ.
Brent Deer, I'm going to give a 7. Now, regular viewers will know that I was not critical. I was constructive in the week. I mentioned that I wanted to see more from him. And first half, I was still a little bit like, I'm not sure here. I'm not sure, Brendia. But second half into it, he got one of his shots off, and I started to see him combining a little bit more. So I'm going to give him a 7, and he's one of them. And this is what I said before the game as well. If we can build on the performance against Liverpool and gradually get better, gradually get more consistent, then the results and performances and the players will be getting 7, 8, 9s. So for me, Buendia had a better game than what he did against Liverpool, which is progress.
I would agree with all that. I think, as I said yesterday on the reaction, I was sort of thinking maybe at half time that there was a call for maybe getting Coutinho on and giving him a run for half a game, because I don't think Buendia affected the game attacking wise as much as he could. I thought he was pretty good defensively, to be honest, for a player that he's really known for his attacking output. But I thought he did well, tracking back. Didn't do enough going forward. But in the second half, he did okay, yeah. And I think scoring the goal elevates him up to at least 7. I think, yeah.
Yeah,
And I think there is more to come. Yeah. And I think I think had he not scored, I would have probably said a 6, because I think he would agree that he didn't have his best game up to that point. But I thought, that'll give him a lot of confidence scoring that goal. And I have to say, I thought Coutinho was excellent when he come off the bench as well. He showed a lot of desire. So having those two, once again, fully fit, hopefully now battling out for that number 10 shirt, I think he's only good for us as a club. And Coutinho's come out and committed himself to the rest of the season, which I love to see. So, having Buendia and Coutinho fighting it out for me is great. Great news for us.
And Coutinho looked quicker, which was good. Pleasing.
Yeah,
so,
but again, fitness-wise, isn't it? He has been out for a little bit and he's not young anymore, so it's going to take him a little bit of time to get back up to speed. So hopefully these little cameos he's probably going to get over the next 3 or 4 weeks will put him in a position to maybe start a game sooner rather than later as well.
Yeah, and I was watching Coutinho yesterday and there was one moment where we'd lost the ball and he done so well to get back, to trap back. So that was really pleasing.
That hunger is so important, and I think he showed that with that statement he put out on social media. He's hungry to do well for us, and that's all I ask for from any of the players.
I'm going to go bold on McGinn. I'm going to go bold on McGinn, Villa fans. I'm going to go 8, and I'll tell you why I'm going 8 for John McGinn. Take away the assist. The work he was doing off the ball was tremendous. And I really think he had a really, really strong, solid game. I thought he had a good game against Liverpool as well. And I think he's now sort of stamping a claim to this position that he's playing on that sort of right-hand side a little bit. I don't know what you call that position that they play. It's like right mid, isn't it? But it's not right mid because he's not a right winger. But
false winger.
Yeah, false right mid winger.
False winger, yeah.
I think he had a really strong game and that little assist as well. And I thought he was instrumental in that second half to driving us forward. And I think McGinn had a really good game. And again, he's another one that's had a lot of criticism, but he's starting to play well.
I think he's another one that's starting to enjoy his football under Emery again. Been given this slightly different role. The pressure's been taken off him in that midfield engine room by the 2 6s, so he hasn't got to worry too much about tracking back, although he does do that very well. I'd probably edge towards a 7.5. I'm not quite sure he was an 8. And I'm thinking now, is it harsh to give him a 7? But 7 or 8, if you're around 7 or 8, I know your magic number is the 7, isn't it? Like, you love your 7s. If you're at least a 7 every week, then that's a good starting point. But I wouldn't be disappointed. I don't think 8's wrong. I just think 7 or 8 is around that mark, definitely.
We'll fly through the subs. I'd give Bednarek, Chambers, I'd give him solid 6s. Ings, I'd give him a 6 as well. So this leaves 3 left. Cash, when he come on, I think he did well.
7.
7, yes, fair. Right, and then we'll go. Right, this one, Leon Bailey. I have to be honest.
Say what you think. I'll say what I think, then we'll come to the number.
Okay, I have to be honest. I'm after a little bit more from him.
Yeah.
I'm after a little bit more from him. I felt in the first half, whenever he'd get the ball and he was sort of 1v1, we didn't seem drive enough for me. I want to see him when I want to see him really attacking his man that's in front of him. And I just feel like, he works well for the team. But if I'm critical of Buendia, then sometimes, I've got to call it. And I'd give him a 6. There's a player there. There's a player there. But we need to see a bit more.
I think the frustrating thing with Bailey yesterday was that because we had this really solid base that we had, like 6 and then the 2 6s. So 6 sort of sitting at the back, if you like, 2 6s. That then gave the 2 up top, Bailey and Watkins, the freedom really to have a go every time they got the ball. and it was a little bit stop-start with Leon. I don't think he particularly had a lot of service, especially in the first half. You know, we wasn't really a threat, was we? So they were feeding a little bit off scraps, the pair of them. And he got a little bit embroiled in a bit of an argument and a bit of argy-bargy, didn't he? With one of their players, where he lost his rag a little bit and got a yellow card for a bit of a late push. So yeah, it wasn't his best game. We've seen him play a lot better, and there is a lot more to come from him. So I think I would agree really with the 6.
I'm not saying he should be dropped either, Villa fans.
No,
I think
it just
I think
wasn't
he
his
still
day.
should play, but I want to see a bit more. And then we'll go Ollie Watkins. I'd give him a 7. My reasoning, I felt like he ran the channels really well. I thought his hold-up play was good at times. He did really well for the Buendia goal. I do think he had 2 chances, which he should be doing better with, especially in the first half when he cut inside and he'd sort of done the hard work, and he just got to hit the target. So he did have 2 chances for me that he should be doing slightly better with, but I think he had a solid game. Watkins did. Justin,
I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to
really?
say 8,
Okay.
and I'll give you my reasons why. He had 2 chances all game. The first one, he did very well to create that chance for himself, and he did pull the shot wide, and there might have been probably an easier layoff to someone coming in. And then the second one, the second half, he just didn't pull the trigger quickly enough. But apart from those 2 instances, you know, as was proven the whole game, I mean, their side, well, Kane and Son didn't have hardly anything. There was very few clear-cut chances in that game. And the 2 the 2 goals we scored were a direct result of Ollie Watkins. One was his quick reaction to the shot, and then his real quality play to set up Buendia. And the second one was his tracking back to rob the centre midfielder to start the move that led to the second goal. Now, for me, without him, we don't score them 2 goals. Danny Ings, for all he's a good footballer, he probably doesn't do either of those things to create those 2 chances, because he hasn't quite got that yard of pace that Ollie Watkins got. He's a different player ultimately, and this is why Ollie Watkins is in the team over Danny Ings, because whilst he is a bit frustrating in front of goal, it does give you this other outlet of his relentless running, his relentless harrying, and he's starting to show that little bit of extra quality and time on the ball now when he does get hold of things, because of his pace and the way he harries people, that he's got this bit of quality now where he can start moves that lead to goals. So for me, it was a pretty good all-round display from Ollie Watkins yesterday. So I think 8.
And look at those numbers. Very, very good numbers. We'll add them all up and you'll get your totals there. So I think everyone's pretty much agreeing with what we're saying. Young's on an average of 8.1, 7.1. Watkins is on 7.6. So a couple are giving 7s, then a couple are giving 8s. So really, really good. Really good numbers. Glad we're doing a player ratings and everybody's rated really well. So it was just a fantastic performance, and let's see more of it. So we will be back with our Wolves preview later on today. That will be out at around 6 o'clock this evening. And yeah, bring on the Wolves. Up the Villa.
Up the Villa.